When it comes to selling your home, using proven strategies that work and are data-backed are extremely important in order for you to make the most money in the least amount of time. And in this video, we're going to deep dive into some data from the National Association of Realtors and see how you can use it to get your home sold for more money in less time. Hey, my name is Austin Gardner. I'm a Delaware Realtor, and today we're going to cover these 5 specific important pieces of information from this recent NAR study that is going to be impactful to getting your home sold. So make sure you keep on watching, especially to the end, because that one, I think that's a big one. Number 1 is the pricing strategy. Setting an initial appropriate price when it first comes on the market is unbelievably important. Recent NAR study found that the vast majority of home sellers, when their house was priced appropriately, it sold in less than 3 weeks, which is pretty on average with the current data here we're seeing in Delaware. In that same report, it showed that those that listed their house for the appropriate market price sold their house for list price 100% of the time in those 3 weeks, while others, another 20+%, had to reduce their price. Essentially, what that boils down to is if your house is priced appropriately on what market value allows for your specific market, for your specific house, you're gonna get list price for it, and you don't have to deal with people attempting to shorthand you at the end of the day. And here's a bonus tip. According to the Journal of Housing Research, those that list their house just below a round price number get their house sold faster. So what does that mean? Well, if you want to price your house and it's valued at $300,000, list it for $299,000. Part of that reasoning is because most of these search algorithms, like on Zillow, Realtor.com, a lot of them have it set on round numbers. So if you have somebody looking above that price point, they may not see your house, and your house could be that deal for them that they're ready to strike and get today. Number 2 is utilizing professional photography. Crazy enough, those pictures of your house are the first impression for 95% of buyers, according to this recent research by NAR, because guess what? Everybody's looking online at houses, Realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, etc. So I think first impressions matter, so utilizing that professional photography is super important. A recent study by VHT Studios found that sellers that use professional photography got their homes sold 32% faster compared to those sellers that used low quality or amateur based photography, which makes total sense because that same study also found that those that use professional photography got an increase in brand awareness of their listing by 118% compared to those of low quality. Makes sense, right? And don't take my word for it. According to Redfin, in one of their recent studies, homes listed between the $200,000 and $1 million price point when utilizing professional photography got their home sold for an additional $3,000 to $10,000 plus. So I think it's worth spending a little bit of money in order to make thousands more. Number 4, home staging is vital, or at least getting your house set up in a manner in which it looks extremely presentable to buyers. In a 2023 study by NAR of buyer's agent, they said 82% of the time when the house is appropriately staged, it makes it much easier for those buyers to view the home as their future home. Now, that doesn't mean you need to take down all the pictures or do some crazy stuff like that, but the house does need to be kept tidy, clean, and decluttered so that buyer can get a full feel of what that house would look like if they were to move into it. In that same study, 48% of listing agents stated that they believed that staging or decluttering of the house dictated whether the home was going to get sold faster or slower on the market. And if it was appropriately staged and or decluttered, it increased its value between 1 to 5%. And when you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, 1 to 5% is a lot of money. Number 4 is timing the sale your house goes on the market, which can make sense. According to NAR data, the overall inventory on the market increases during the summer months, June and July. But does that mean it's really the ideal time for you to go and sell your house? Well, that depends on a couple factors. Are you buying as well? If you are buying, do you want to have to compete with other buyers? And will you have to compete with other buyers in that market you're moving to? But also, does your specific market for your specific house follow that trend? Because here in Delaware, it doesn't necessarily happen that way. It really depends specifically on where your house is located and who the ideal buyer is for it. Whether it's somebody moving in the state and they're retiring whether it's a first-time home buyer purchasing their first house and they may be utilizing grants that are available at certain times of the year, or maybe your ideal house is going to be for somebody who would be PCSing from the military. It really depends, and that's in part why a consultation with a listing agent is extremely important to figure out when that right time is for you. Number 5 is working with a realtor you know and trust. And I get it, I'm a little bit biased. I'm a realtor and I'm making this video, but don't take my word for it. Let's look at the data. In the same study, 90% of home sellers, much like yourself, utilized an agent to get their home sold. However, those that used an agent versus going FSBO sold their home for an additional $55,000 higher on average, which means by utilizing an agent like myself, you walk away with more money at the end of the day. However, I will admit, not every real estate agent is the same. You need to utilize an agent that's going to use strategies that we talked about today. Professional photography, decluttering your house, pricing appropriately, and timing the market correctly as well, and maybe some other strategies like video marketing, content creation like you're watching here, maybe somebody that's well known in the community as well. Those factors can make an impact on how fast your home gets sold and how much money you make at the end of the day, and almost most importantly, how easy that entire transaction is going to be for you. Myself and my team would be more than happy to service you. If you want more information on what it would be like to work with myself or my team, my contact information is below. Feel free to reach out at any time, and I hope you have a fantastic day.